But I've always loved vintage stuff and older stuff. I've always loved thrift stores and, you know, flea markets and anything like that. It's funny because I used to come here as a kid. This used to be a record store when I was first born. And then I used to come here as a kid because it was a flea market. So which actually there's a Rod Stewart poster up on the wall that I got here in high school. I saved up like $12 to buy this poster. We opened almost 5 years ago. I had a partner at the time, Dan, and I worked for him. I was kind of running a boutique that he had at the time, and there was an open spot next door. We both loved vintage stuff and retro stuff and worked really well together, and I just mentioned one day how cool it would be to have like a cool shop like that. And the next day he's like, let's do it. Let's go into business, partners, and within 3 weeks I think we had the store open. So I've always loved, I mean, a lot of the stuff, like a lot of like popular retro stuff now is like 80s and 90s, and I grew up in the 80s and 90s, so I love that stuff already. Like we have open mic readings on the second Sundays of every month. We've been doing some comedy things. We've been trying to do that like the last Monday every month. Like we have some set days. We have a cool kind of spontaneous jam. A group of people get together and just make some fun, crazy music on the first Tuesdays. So we try to do things like that, but then we have so many different events. I get contacted by bands touring and local bands and stuff. Like we try to always have space for local bands when they're trying to put a show together. This is my home. I love, you know, I want the store to do so much more than just being a store. I want to be able to do as much as I can, but I mean, most of my friends are the artists and music community, you know, so it's kind of like I'm just working with my friends a lot and other nonprofits, so it's been really awesome. It's them to other people, you know, that other artists or other people, you know, we'll have an art show and be like, oh, you know what, check out this band. They'd probably be really great for your art, you know, and just kind of putting people together and making it easier because, you know, if you've never had an art show, I mean, I have people come to me, they'll just say, you know, I paint, I have all these paintings, I don't know what to do with them. I don't know, you know, so it's cool to be like, well, you know, here are your options. Do you want to show them in the store? Would you like to have like be at one of our pop-ups? You know, we have different artists pop up at different events. You know, would you like to, we could feature you, you could have your own show. I mean, there's just so many options we can give them, you know. We work so great together as a downtown. I mean, we have such great businesses. The community's great. I mean, I love downtown Morgantown. I think it needs some work, but I think we're getting there, and I think it's a fantastic small little town. I think we're really lucky to have a really awesome downtown.